So what do you need to know as a web developer? As a beginner web developer, what is expected of you to know, whether you're getting a job or building your own application. Here are the things you need to learn. You need to know HTML. So I would just suggest going to W3 schools and learn HTML5. You need to learn CSS, and knowing CSS3 is also very important. HTML is basically the structure of a page and its content, and CSS3 is like the clothing that you put onto that structure. It's like the colors and the dimensions is what happens when I put my mouse over it. Also, it'd be great if you can learn some JavaScript, which is editing the HTML elements, making them do stuff. Like if I click here, I want a pop up or I want some kind of effect to show up, and that's what JavaScript is. Ajax and JSON. Ajax is part of JavaScript. I don't really believe it to be separate for you to be like, oh, I need to learn some Ajax. But when you're using jQuery, I would suggest to learn jQuery, but predominantly I would suggest to learn JavaScript first and then jQuery. And then you're going to need a scripting language. So you're going to need to know either Python or Ruby or PHP or any other server-side languages. And I'll make a video just on server-side and client-side. I'll talk about that. But for now, you need to know HTML. You need to learn that if you don't know it already. You need to know CSS. You need to know a element manipulation language like JavaScript, and you need to know a server-side scripting language such as PHP or Ruby on Rails or whatever it is. My suggestion would be to start with perhaps PHP, only because it's very widely used. The community is very large and there's a lot of tutorials and documentation. With that said, there's a lot of tutorials and documentations on how not to do things the best. So you go ahead and you choose what you want. I don't have any experience with ASP.NET, so or any kind of Windows language. So HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and then a programming language or a scripting language. Which JavaScript is a scripting language, and if we went into a more in-depth conversation, we could say you can use Node.js. So trying to get the beginner just to learn HTML and CSS. So that'd be great if you could just focus on that if you don't know those things already. Thanks for watching.